Hi, Ty from Groovy Entertainment. Today we got another book to read for you. Today's book is wembley Fraggle in the Magic Stone for 1986. So let's get started. I think I like the red. No, the blue is really nice, but the red is really red. wembley Fraggle stood in his cave, staring at two pairs of earmuffs that hung on the wall. It was winter in Fraggle Rock, and no sensible Fraggle would go out without a hat or earmuffs. Just pick one, Goobert said impatiently. We're meeting Red and Moki in the Great Hall right away. And don't forget your skates. Wobbly closed his eyes and reached out toward the earmuffs. He felt something soft between his fingers, and he'd opened his eyes. He had chosen the red one. Maybe I should wear the blue one after all, he began, but Goober grabbed him by the shoulder and whisked him away out of their cave before you can say Fraggle Fun. I really wish it went. I really wish it wasn't so hard for me to make up my mind, Wilsey said as he and Gobert trotted toward the frozen pond. Well, maybe you'll find a wishing stone, and your wish will come true, Gobert answered cheerfully. There was a legend in Fraggle Rock that certain stones had wishing powers. Wilby perked up. Do you think so, Gobert? Gobert shook his head. I was only kidding, he said. Everyone knows that there's no such thing as a wishing stone. When Gobert and Wilby reached the great hall, Red and Moki was already there. Come on, Wilb, get your skates on. Gobert laced up and glided off. Wilby finished trying his skates and stood up. He put his left foot in front of his right foot. That's when he tripped over a dozer stick on the ice. His leg started to slip and his arm went around and around like a windmill. He reached for the ledge to steady himself and felt a bit of rock breaking away in his hand. Oh no, I wish I wouldn't fall, Wooly said to himself. Then somehow his feet got a grip on the ice and he slowly slipped to a stop. Nice going, Wobbly, Red laughed as she glided past. I thought you were a goner. So did I, Wobbly shouted happily. He started to straighten his earmuffs and noticed something in his hand. It was a smooth round stone. It had blue spots that seemed to glow from within. Wobbly had never Wobbly had never seen anything like it before. What a neat stone, he thought, putting it in his pocket for safekeeping. A little later, Boomer came by with 5 mugs of hot radish cider on a tray. I thought some cider might keep you from catching cold, he said. All this exercise can't be possibly be good. Think, Boomer, Moki said, taking her mug. I just wish mine wasn't so hot, Wildy added. Suddenly, an ice hanging just above Wildy's head broke, and a little chunk of ice fell smack into his cup. Hey, Goobert chucked. All Wildy needed to do is wish for something, and it happens. Wildy just left, but as he and Gobert walked back to their cave, he put his hand into his pocket and felt the stone there, right next to his handkerchief. What if there's a wishing stone, he thought. After all, I wish I wouldn't fall, and I did it. Then I wish my cider wasn't so hot and an icicle fell in it. Maybe I could wish for anything I want. Might even wish that I could make up my mind. Hey, Willie, Gilbert said, interrupting Willoughby's daydream. Do you want to roast some radishes or go over to the side? For a moment, Willie couldn't decide it, but he held the stone tight. Then somehow he knew just what he wanted to do. Let's go to the slide, he shouted. The wishing stone worked. Later that night, Moki came to talk to Gobert in his cave. I'm worried about Wilbur, she told him. He was in our cave a while ago, and he kept jumping up and down, saying I have decided what I'm having for my bedtime snack. And he laughed a lot. Something must be wrong. Gobert sighed. Willie think he found a magic wishing stone. He wished he could make up his mind, and now he makes a decision all the time. He decided to have squash stew for dinner. Then he decided to go to Boomer Cave for his snack. That's where he is now. Moki frowned. Doesn't Wilby know that there's no such thing as a magic wishing stone? I told him that, but he wouldn't believe me. Well, if it makes him happy, Moki said, but I think we better keep an eye on him just the same. The next morning, Wilby decided to hike to the Roaring Riviera to see the frozen waterfall. Wilby, I don't think this is a very good decision at all, Gilbert gasped. For the third time, they climbed over some large boulders. It's pretty icy and dangerous. In winter time, on top of the Roaring Riviera. That's okay, Wilby said cheerfully. With my wishing stone, I'll be perfectly safe. Just don't drop your picnic lunch. It was a wonderful day for a hike. The weather was clear and the wind wasn't too strong. Fraggle Rock looked beautiful with sparkling frost and icy everywhere. Just before lunch, they reached the deep riviera. Let's go this way, Willie said confidently. We'll get a better view of the frozen waterfall from here. He began to climb down a steep cliff. I don't know, Gilbert said. It looks pretty slippery. Well, there was no time to say anything else. Welby had slipped on a rock. The next thing he knew, he was hanging from a small frozen branch above the riviera. He dropped his lunch basket and watched it fall down, down, down into the riviera. It landed with a thump. Welby, Gilbert yelled, don't move, I'm coming. For a few moments, Wilby was too terrified to think about anything but holding on. Then he remembered the wishing stone. I wish, he whispered. I wish I could climb back up to the top of the riviera. He looked above him, but all he saw was a sheer wall of ice. Wilby couldn't move. Wilby hung from the branch from a long time before Gilbert managed to lower himself down on a rope. Somehow, Gilbert wound the rope around Wilby. Then slowly, inch by inch, he half dragged and half pushed his friend up the side of the cliff. When they reached the top, they both laid there, frightened and out of breath. Then Wilby remembered the wishing stone. He put his hand in his pocket and pulled the stone out. Some wishing stone this turned out to be, he said. Sadly, it failed me when I needed it most. I guess it really isn't magic after all. He raised his arm and threw the stone down into the riviera. It landed on the bottom right next to the lunch. I knew it wasn't really magic when Wilm, Gilbert said gently. So when the icicle dropped into my cider and when I didn't fall ice skating, Wilby's voice showed off. It just happened that way. Gilbert put his arm around his best friend's shoulder. It wasn't magic, but you know what's better than magic. When you thought you could make a decision, you could. It didn't have anything to do with a magic stone. It had to do with you. It did, Wilby asked. It sure did, Gilbert said. Now I'm about to show you that you can decide things for yourself without the help of any wishing stone. Wilby, what do you want to do right now? Wilby thought for a moment. He found it quite easy to make up his mind. I want to go home, he said happily. So that's exactly what they did. So that was Wilby Fraggle in the Magic Stone for 1986. So if you like, subscribe, share, and comment, have a great day with another video coming out real soon.